Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Survey says, yes, another one of those videos. So I asked the question regarding Andy Ruiz Jr. and 1,500 of you voted. Andy Ruiz Jr. judging by social media, whipping himself into something approaching career best shape for his pay-per-view event with Chris Arreola. It's his first fight since the Joshua rematch and the first fight training under Eddie Reynoso. Has he turned a corner in his career, and will we now see a new Ruiz from here on out? So as I say, 1,500 of you voting over the past couple of days. So what we will start with is the lowest answer, and we'll work from there. So coming in at the lowest answer, 14% of you said no. No, Andy Ruiz Jr. has not turned a corner, and you don't expect to see the best of him from here. And there were a number of comments through the poll under it, that sort of stuff. Feel free to check out the community tab, vote for yourselves, and drop a comment if you are so inclined. But a lot of people sort of saying, look, we've seen these sort of tricks from Andy Ruiz Jr. before. He's good with angles, all that sort of stuff. He's using those social media sort of dark arts to make himself look like he's in shape, but people do not expect that he's turned a corner. So there were some very cutting comments, and some people sort of saying, look, he hasn't lost weight at all. This is just all fakery, trickery, and we are going to see the same old flabby Andy Ruiz Jr. on the scales for his fight with Chris Arreola. And there has been a lot of media attention just in recent days, the past couple of weeks, about Ruiz cutting down some weight. He does, in my view, look like he has been losing weight. And this one is one of the most recent shots that he's put out there. You can clearly see he's been hiking his shorts up there. Clearly, though, has not been missing leg day. And I guess for Ruiz, who's generally been, for his size, probably more than he probably should be on the scale, and his low sort of watermark in his career has been around the mid-240s. But I do think that he is actually approaching something close to that for this upcoming fight. So, I mean, if he comes in around 250 or so, that's actually pretty good for him. Bearing in mind his last fight where he, sort of blew out in the final weeks of camp for the Joshua rematch, 283. For that fight with Joshua, which was in mid-2019, he was around 260 or so, and that has been there or thereabouts for some of the better weights in his career. But judging by his condition, bearing in mind we don't normally sort of see him getting, the quad muscles out, all that sort of stuff, he does look like he's been putting the work in. But we'll get to the next lowest, as I guess it will, and actually we have a tie. Even from early on, the yes and also the this is temporary, he will eventually lose motivation, were neck and neck right throughout. So equal top in the poll, 43% said yes, he has turned a corner. We'll see a new Ruiz from here on out. And also, this is temporary. He will eventually lose motivation, 43%. So there's a definite split here about how people feel about Ruiz, what he's going to do in the next phase of his career. Some people completely on board think, yep, this guy knows what he did wrong against Anthony Joshua, knows that, he can't just do whatever he wants and expect results, that he has to also, besides having the skill set and the training, he has to come in better condition to complement that. So some people think, actually, this guy is going to be a different guy from here on out. And I guess for this fight with Chris Arreola, it's one thing coming in shape for this one, but going forward, obviously, consistency is going to be key. But on the other side of the coin, a lot of people are saying, look, this is temporary. He is going to lose motivation. So presumably they expect him to slip back into old ways. And there has been a pattern of Ruiz sort of yo-yoing in terms of condition. We have seen him whipping himself into better condition for certain fights and then sort of losing motivation for others. And even himself after that Joshua fight said that he was blowing off training, he was not training like a champion, and he let himself down. So 43% of you think that this is just a short-term boost, he's going to fall back into old ways, while 43% of you thought actually this guy knows what he did wrong, he's going to correct it, he is going to be something different going forward, consistent. And I guess, my sort of position on that is it's a little bit wait and see. I mean, I do sort of think that for this first fight with Eddie Reynoso, that he was always going to be coming in better shape, that he was going to be putting in the effort, determination, because effectively this is like a one-off trial period type situation. If he doesn't sort of put in the work and fit into camp and with the rest of the fighters, including Canelo and Ryan Garcia, others, Frank Sanchez, for example, then obviously he will be asked to leave. So I think there's more power on the side of Eddie Reynoso and the sort of wider camp. It's not so much that Ruiz can come in and be a top dog and be a diva. He has to fit in, or he'll be shown the door. So I think he is obviously fitting in right now. But will that last? That is certainly a question that I do have as well, like the 43% of people. Is he going to be able to maintain what he's doing for a long period of time? Or will he, obviously, like some people believe, he is going to lose motivation and we will see a return to the old Andy Ruiz Jr. But it's an interesting poll result that so many people believe that he's a changed man, but also just as many people believe that he is going to lose motivation. And the no element was much smaller than those other two, obviously. But what did you make of these poll results? Drop a comment. Loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.